When Spider-Man Far From Home came out, I loved it, but rewatching it 2 years later, I've got some things to say about it. Hey guys, welcome back to Was It Even Good, where I take a look at a movie or a game that came out at least 1 year ago and ask the question, was it even good? With Spider-Man Far From Home being released very soon, I thought it would be fun to look back at Spider-Man Homecoming, his first solo film into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and ask the question, was Spider-Man Homecoming even good at all? And if you guys have any suggestions for the next movie or game I should do, tell me in the comment section, I'd love to hear your suggestions. So Spider-Man Homecoming takes place right after Captain America Civil War and before Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War. Peter has been Spider-Man for 6 months and is already known throughout the neighborhood, with students such as Flash and Liz Allen being fans of him. In this movie, Peter has a decent handle on his powers, but you can definitely tell there's room for improvement, which is shown in a scene between the chase scene between Peter and the goons that are working with the Vulture. In this scene, he runs into fences, sheds, he nearly falls off a roof, and more. Now, everyone has a favorite Spider-Man for different reasons. I think a lot of us have the idea of what Spider-Man should be, what qualities he should uphold, and what aspects of Peter Parker should be included with his character in each Spider-Man iteration. And I think this version of Peter Parker / Spider-Man pretty much nails it for the most part. Tom Holland has the quips, he has the acrobatics, he has the look of Spider-Man. It reminds me a lot of Spectacular Spider-Man, that version of Peter Parker / Spider-Man. A good Spider-Man story always sees Peter struggle between his life of Spider-Man and his life of Peter Parker, often causing trouble for those in his life because he's Spider-Man. And in this movie we see that he leaves Ned at Liz's party, he misses the contest, he leaves Liz to stop the Vulture. These are all classic Spider-Man themes and makes for a stronger Spider-Man story. In those aspects, I think the movie does great. As for the self-made hero part of Spider-Man, I think having Tony give him a suit takes a little bit away from the self-made hero aspect, but as you'll find out during this video, it becomes a positive later on in the movie. Spider-Man is someone who could be anyone. Spider-Man is someone who is a self-made hero. He does his own suit, he does his own tech, he's a self-made hero. So when I saw Tony Stark give him a high-tech suit, I was a little irked, but later on in the movie, we see that perfect Spider-Man moment that is only beaten by the Spider-Man train scene. Peter is stuck under the rubble, and as he calls out, no one is coming. We see the reflection that reminds him that he is Spider-Man and that he is a self-made hero. And then we hear Tony Stark's voice in his quote, and he gains the strength to lift himself free. It was just so perfect. So I can see where they were going with this. They were trying to give him something to take something away to lead up to this powerful moment, and it worked, but at the cost of kind of damaging the self-made hero aspect of Spider-Man. So I guess it's a double-edged sword, I'm saying. As for the side characters, I have a bone to pick with these. A couple of them, Flash and Liz and MJ, really didn't do it for me. They were just there. Flash is just there to make fun of Peter, and MJ is just there to, well, again, make fun of Peter. There wasn't really a difference between the two other than the gender, I guess you can say, and the fact that they're different characters. Now, of course, in Spider-Man Far From Home, it seems that MJ is going to be more of a romantic interest for Peter, so it's going to be interesting to see if they handle that better than they did with the other romantic interest in this movie. Which, speaking of her, there wasn't really anything interesting done with her. I did like the fact that they connected the Vulture to her, having Vulture be her father, but other than that, there wasn't really anything that interested me in that character. I didn't really like her too much. In a lot of these superhero films, the superhero has to have some kind of romance. It's always in there for some reason, and I think they could have did better with this character. And of course, we can't forget about Spider-Man's sidekick Ned, and this character was actually really funny. He was basically us asking all the questions that we would ask if our friend suddenly got powers. He was the guy in the chair, the best friend of the superhero, and I think that really worked for the character and for Peter Parker himself. Now, of course, you're probably wondering, what about Vulture, played by Michael Keaton? And that was a great villain. He had great motivation and awesome character design. I like how they connected him to Peter Parker. Like I said before, being Liz's dad, it created for a conflict for Peter where he had to choose whether he was choosing Liz Allen as his girlfriend or stopping Peter. I mean, Vulture, not Peter. I don't know why I said Peter. You guys didn't know, I'm reading off a script and sometimes I end up messing up. So with all this in mind, was Spider-Man Homecoming even good? And I'd have to say, yes it was. This is a Spider-Man story. I think this movie does a great job in that aspect. I have some problems here and there with the characters like MJ and Flash and Liz Allen, but other than that, this is a fantastic Spider-Man story that takes you through emotional rides with Peter Parker. We see him change as a character and as Spider-Man. He evolves into a much stronger Spider-Man that is more confident in himself in front of enemies and really helped him out in the later movies in Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War, fighting off Thanos and all the enemies. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe for the next video, and leave your suggestions for the next one down below and your thoughts on this movie if you've watched this in the past year or so. Thanks for watching and have a good one.